What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show. We discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about on a daily basis, including the fourth stimulus package update, stimulus check updates, daily news, money investing, the stock market. We cover it all here on our YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. If you haven't yet, I will keep you up to date here with everything. And also, thanks for hitting the like button for us down below. President Biden unveiled his new $5.8 trillion budget for the new 2023 fiscal year yesterday. And in that bill included a billionaire's tax, which would shore up money. In this $5.8 trillion bill, it would actually reduce the fiscal deficit, but they want to tax millionaires and billionaires extra. Check this out. Also, I'm giving away $1,000 to our viewers in our What's in the Box contest. If you can guess what's in that box, you can win money directly from me, and I'll be giving a clue to what's in that box in this video. So make sure to watch all the way to the end, and I'll give you a clue to what's in that box.
As we've been discussing all morning, the Biden administration will officially release the 2023 budget later today, and it contains some new tax proposals. Ilan Mui joins us now with a preview. We'll be hashing this around for the rest of the show, I think, Ilan.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. Well, the White House said that all new investments in the president's budget will be paid for by forcing the wealthy and corporations to contribute their fair share. Today, President Biden will propose raising taxes on the rich through what the White House is calling a billionaire income tax, though in reality, it would actually hit those worth $100 million or more with a 20% minimum tax on all their income, including unrealized gains. Now, the administration estimates this would raise $360 billion over a decade. Only the top 0.01% of households would be affected, and more than half of the revenue would come from those worth more than $1 billion. Now, as Andrew has been reporting this morning, the White House also wants to put new guardrails around CEOs buying back stock and impose a 1% tax on share buybacks. All of that money is also crucial to the administration's pledge to not only pay for new investments, but actually reduce the deficit. The White House said its budget will show the deficit falling this year by $1.3 trillion, the biggest drop on record, and then coming down another $1 trillion over the decade. So fiscal responsibility is one of the three key priorities in the president's budget. The other two are safety and security and building a better America. We've gotten a lot of details around the revenue raisers in his budget. We'll get some more information on his spending proposals later this morning. Back to you.
Yeah, so let me know your thoughts. Do you think that billionaires and 100 millionaires, people worth over $100 million, should pay more in taxes? This has become under scrutiny because of people like Elon Musk, up until recently, when he actually sold tens of billions of dollars right at the end of last year. A lot of times they don't pay any tax because what happens is they take no salary. In some case, they take $1 salary when they work at their companies, and they get paid in stock. Okay, and they own millions of shares of stock worth billions of dollars, and the stock goes up, and they can accumulate hundreds of billions of dollars. But until they actually sell it, they don't pay any tax. So they don't pay any tax for many, many years. But when they do go to sell it, that is when they pay the tax. The problem here is it gets a little tricky because if you go to try to tax somebody, whether they're a billionaire or not, on unrealized gains, for example, a stock that hasn't been sold yet, that's very, very tricky. And a lot of people are worried that the government is going to then try to tax everybody else as well on stocks that haven't been sold yet. The problem is if you try to tax a stock or an asset that hasn't been sold yet, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. Over time, stocks tend to go up over the long run. But if you tax a stock on its value before it's sold and you've locked in a gain, what happens if it goes down the next year and you're just taxing it on its value at December 31st, and then it goes down on January 1st. It's a really wish-washy, whack way of trying to collect taxes, which is just kind of one way that they're proposing. If they can even pass that, again, it's just one of the proposals here. I don't even know if they're going to be able to get support enough to pass that in Congress, but they are trying. They are trying. Um, but we'll see here. But there are some other ways here, like a minimum tax that they're doing here as well for corporations. Now, there's a lot of corporations that make billions and billions of dollars, like Amazon, and they don't pay taxes. So they're proposing a minimum corporate tax rate as well, where if you make a certain amount of money, say $1 billion, you have to pay a flat tax like 15% minimum. So if you make that much money, it doesn't matter. You're paying 15% tax no matter what. So even if you make $1 billion and you have $1 billion in write-offs, it doesn't matter. You're paying 15%, regardless of how many write-offs you have. You could let me know your thoughts in the comments. But yeah, it would be a dramatic thing because the last several years, the government's losing money. Government's not taking in enough tax revenue, especially right now with the pandemic. Former President Donald Trump ran up a deficit of about $8 trillion. Biden's running up a deficit. They're both running up deficits, especially during the pandemic. The government's spending way more money than normal right now. The government just doesn't take in enough money to run the country. Country. The country's run like a company, to be honest. Same thing. You have to take in enough money to match your output. Okay. And remember also that in 2020, which is the most recent tax year that everything's been completed, remember, people are still filing 2021 taxes. 61% of Americans paid no federal income tax in 2020. So this was underneath former President Donald Trump. 2021 is probably going to be similar. You can see here more than 100 million U.S. households, or 61% of all taxpayers, paid no federal income taxes last year, according to a report from the Tax Policy Center. This is federal taxes. This doesn't include sales taxes or state taxes or property taxes. Remember, there's a lot of different type of tax, but this is federal income tax, okay? Now, remember, you may have paid federal income tax throughout the year from your job, but then at the end of the year, if you got a refund that gave you the money back, and also remember that your stimulus checks are tax refunds, tax rebates, okay? So that offsets the money that you paid. So if you paid, remember in 2020, you got two stimulus checks. You got $1,200 and $600 from former President Donald Trump. So it's actually $1,800 of refunds, rebates. So it kind of offsets some taxes you may have paid. So not like it really matters, but just kind of in the data, they're kind of figuring out that 61% of Americans actually paid no federal income taxes, or actually negative federal income taxes in 2021. When all was said and done, the government just didn't make any money off 61% of people, if you kind of know what I'm saying here. Yeah, you could see here the main reason for the spike: high unemployment, large stimulus checks, generous tax credit programs. Remember, child tax credit programs, high unemployment. Remember, unemployment bonus checks, $300 per week. Remember, Trump actually had $600 per week unemployment bonus checks. All that kind of equated to the government actually losing money on a lot of people if we're equating the government to a business. But honestly, between me and you and the, I don't know, 50,000 people that are going to watch this video, the government runs a deficit every year. And in 1990, the government had a $3 or $4 trillion deficit, and now they have a $30 trillion deficit. And it's 2022. When it's 2042, that government deficit is probably going to be, instead of 30 trillion, it's probably going to be 60 trillion. So whether that really matters or not, you know, taxes are actually at a historic low. 61% of people paid no taxes last year or in 2020. Okay. And in 2020, inflation was actually at a historic low as well. Okay. Now we were at the bottom of the pandemic as well. But now remember, the deficit doesn't actually equate to inflation. Okay. Deficit and inflation are two different things. We actually didn't see inflation until the last several months here. Okay. Remember that deficit has been going up since the 90s, okay? 90, 91, 92, 2000, that deficit's been going up for all those years. And all those years we had kind of regular inflation. We've just seen inflation here really bad for the last several months as we've spiked out of the pandemic and the Russian wars made it worse. The high gas prices have really exacerbated it. Hopefully it lasts, I don't know, by the end of the year, hopefully it's coming down or over, right? Wishful thinking. Um, but remember, national deficit does not equal inflation. A lot of people think that, but it doesn't, because if that was the case, from when we were in 1990 and it was 3 trillion and we got to 30 trillion now in 2022, we would have had inflation like we're having now for the last 4 to 6 months. We would have had inflation like that for the last 30 years, and we haven't. For the last 30 years, inflation has been relatively normal. I mean, yeah, we've had a spike here and there, right? But relatively for the last 30 years, inflation's been relatively normal, about 2.5%. Okay, so deficit does not equal inflation. Keep that in mind, okay? And if anything, taxes are at an all-time low or near an all-time low. 61% of people paid no federal income tax. So if anything, the deficit really doesn't mean much to most people. I mean, it's a fictitious number. 61% of people are paying no federal income tax. Good for those people, right? If you're paying no federal income tax, taxes can't get any lower. I mean, theoretically, they could. You got property taxes, you got sales taxes, you got, yeah, I mean, whatever other kind of taxes, gas taxes, which they're trying to lower right now. In fact, some states are. In fact, actually, last year in 2021, you can see here, a quick Google search says in 2021, 11 states have enacted laws to reduce their income tax rates, with 10 reducing individual income tax rates and 5 reducing corporate income tax rates. In many states, these rate reductions are paired with other pro-growth reforms. And a lot of these are doing this in 2022 as well. So states are actually reducing taxes as well. So reducing taxes for the average person is a really good thing. In fact, recent news here shows that just one state, again, I try to just cover all states here as they're in the news, Mississippi just passed its largest state income tax cut ever. Ever. This will be phased in over the course of 4 years. The Republican-controlled state House and Senate voted by wide margins to pass a bill that would reduce state income tax over 4 years. It won't start till next year, 2023, but nonetheless, you're reducing state income tax. It will now go to the governor, who's Republican Governor Tate Reeves. He has indicated he will sign it into law. This affects every Mississippian that gets up and goes to work, said Senate Finance Committee Chairman. Supporters say a significant tax cut could spur economic growth and attract new residents to Mississippi, which was one of 3 states that lost population during the decade before the 2020 census. And they say this tax cut will make Mississippi one of the most work-friendly states in the nation. And for low-income people in Mississippi, they're going to save money here as well. Under current laws, a single person with no dependents in Mississippi currently pays no tax on the first $12,300 of income. And now it looks like after the first year, tax-free income levels would be $18,300 for a single person and $36,600 for a married couple, lawmakers said. So again, we're seeing a variety of states. If you've been watching my show, just state after state is doing their own kind of method of either giving stimulus checks back, lowering state income taxes, lowering sales taxes, lowering gas taxes. And really, when you look at like what Mississippi is doing, lowering state income taxes, those are things that go on forever. Okay, that's like a permanent change here, and it's actually reducing state income taxes for everybody, including the lowest tax bracket, which is actually you can make up to a certain amount. In this case, like $18,000 tax free, where you pay no taxes, and that's actually kind of the first bucket of money where everybody makes up to that amount and pays no taxes, and then the next bucket is where you start paying taxes. So everybody gets that kind of first bucket of money to fill up. And then the next bucket is where they start filling up that bucket, and that's where they start paying. That's kind of how taxes work if you understand taxes at all. Same thing with federal government. You pay the first bracket first, and then you kind of fill up each bracket as you go, and then you pay each bracket of money. You don't like if you're in the highest bracket, you don't just pay all that money in the highest bracket. You have to fill up each bracket as you go. So each bracket that they kind of raise helps you along the way. So even if you're in the lowest bracket, if they raise that, you can make more money in the lowest bracket. So um, really all this stuff, no matter what state you're in, I really feel like all these states are doing something to help their people, whether it's reducing state income taxes, whether it's reducing sales taxes, grocery taxes, gas taxes, or sending out a stimulus check. Um, I'm going to be covering all this different stuff here for you, as well as on the federal level. There's really a lot of good things going on here. And you really got to think our country's moving in the right direction, because if you just look at state by state by state, and remember, Mississippi's completely Republican controlled, they're lowering taxes, and that seems to be a more Republican type of thing to do, and that's not a bad thing at all. Lowering taxes is is a good thing. In fact, there was a recent poll done. I don't have the results here in front of me, but it was like 70 or 80% of people are for lowering taxes. Who wouldn't be, right? I guess there's some people that probably maybe responded they don't know, or maybe there's a few people that want higher taxes or something. I don't know, but nonetheless, that's why a lot of people don't realize the deficit does not really correlate to inflation. So I hope that kind of makes sense. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. But I'll keep you up to date with all these states, the federal stimulus checks, and everything going on here with our country. Next, let's do our What's in the Box giveaway. I'm giving away $1,000 to our viewers here in total with our What's in the Box giveaway. I've done this a bunch of times in the past. We'll probably do this here in the future as well. If you can guess what's in that box, via the clues I'm giving, then you could win money directly from me. This time we're doing $1,000 again. And the way it works is if you can guess what's in that box, you'll be entered into the pool of people that have guessed correctly. And from there, we will randomly pick 10 people to win $100 each for a total of $1,000. And they'll be picked at random. All you got to do to guess is leave a comment down below. You can guess as many times as you like. You can change your answers as many times as you like. After we do the 10 clues, we're going to open the box, show you what's in the box, and reveal the winners on the screen so you know who won. And then I'll contact the winners and get with them to pay them. Okay, so this will be clue number 7. Clue number 7 to what's in the box is the item in the box can lead you to a lost city. The item in the box can lead you to a lost city. All right. Let me know if that changes what you thought was in the box, if that helps you. We're starting to get to the good clues here. So leave a comment down below if you think you know what's in the box. Next couple clues will be really good too as well, so don't miss out on any new videos. Make sure you're subscribed down below so you don't miss out. Remember, it's completely free to do so. After subscribing, click the bell icon that appears next to the subscribe button. We'll be doing this again in the future too as well. I don't even know how many times we've done this here as well, but I like doing this. It's fun. I've had so many people tell me that these contests are really fun, and they get your brain working, and they take your mind off things. And we always have really interesting items. My last item here was these Rocky shorts. These are signed by Sylvester Stallone. Uh, yeah, these are actual Rocky shorts signed by Sylvester Stallone there. You can see there. So that's one of my cool items there that I have there. I can't even remember some of the last items I have there. Um, my Mike Tyson glove back there. Was that an item? I can't even remember. I think that was an item I had in the box. But yeah, we've had a lot of cool items here in the box, and this one could be the coolest yet. You guys can let me know your thoughts when you see it. So make sure to subscribe. I'll keep you up to date here. You can click this video here to watch my newest video next. And this video is my really good video here where we go over all the states that have announced stimulus checks, what's coming out here on the federal level here as well, with a lot of details on that. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.